everybody. Welcome back to Mortgage Ballers. This is Rich Hanlin, and today, I have Brad MacHamer.
Got
I've
it.
said his name wrong since he's been here, and he finally corrected me today because I thought it was MacHamer. He's like, that's not even close.
No,
MacHamer. And hey, what is that? Is that like
it's
Irish? What is that?
well, it's actually German, but
Okay.
yeah, looks Scottish.
I would never have to the Pepsi challenge would have got that right.
No,
But
nobody does.
Brad, thanks for taking time. I know everybody's got loans on their mind and things like that, and I've been trying to get some of these interviews, but I appreciate you taking the time to just sit with me for the next 30 minutes. The whole idea is to put a face with a voice. I know you talk to a lot of people. Appreciate all that you do. And this is just one of those things that I love getting people on camera. Not everybody wants to go there, but I got to push people into what I think is the direction where life is going. If not, AI is going to do it for us. But
Totally.
I've got some random questions for you, and I'm
Yeah,
going to throw them at you.
shoot.
Maybe right off the bat, how long you been in lending?
Since 2003, so 20, almost 22 years.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, that automatically leads to the next question, which is, how long have you been on the broker side, or have you also been on the direct lender side, or?
I mean, really, broker side, since I came over to expert.
Wow, you've been on the other side for a while.
Yeah, yeah. But no, it's good to be on the broker side now,
It's a
for
lot
sure.
different. You don't have a chain, a check-in, the normal work day, but you probably didn't have a normal work day before because, I mean, you got to go get the loans anyways.
Right. I mean,
So,
in essence, a lot of it is still the same, though. I mean, I'm still calling clients. I'm still putting together loan apps. I'm still, doing all of the stuff that I've always done. It's a little bit different channel, but it's changed a lot over the last couple of years. And the broker channel is not as scary as I thought it was going to be before I decided to come over.
yeah, we've been called the dark side. I know. I
Yeah.
only know the dark side. I tried to go to the other side just for a short time after the crash of 2008. And I worked at a credit union, and then I worked at Mountain West Financial and
Hmm.
Neighbors Financial. Mountain West didn't really work for me. The credit union didn't work for me because they had so many overlays. It wasn't until I got the Neighbors Financial and they said, look, it's about purchases. Let's learn every program that can put people in the houses. And over like a 2.5 year period, as California got really slow back then, USDA, HFA, all the down payment assistance, there just wasn't conventional loans out there. And real estate had taken a hit. That's when I learned the purchase side, and I went out and got realtors, and I started using those realtors and helping their tough clients raise their credit so we could put them into an FHA or USDA. And that's kind of how it all started, because I started, Brad, 1991 all the way through the 2008 when it crashed. I was a refi only mortgage broker,
Mm,
and I never did purchases. I did my own, but I never did it on a large scale. And it turned out to be my kiss of death because I lost that company
right.
because there were no refis, but there was always purchases, which is crazy.
Right.
All right. Let's ask this one. What's the favorite part of what you do? Why do you do this? Why are you a loan originator? Out of all things you can do, why
Right.
this?
I mean, it's changed over 22 years. But now it's just working with clients. I like the interaction through clients from start to finish. A lot of LOs, they like to have an assistant and a staff that they turn their loan over to, and they're done with it. Um, I I kind of do it differently. I like to work with clients all the way through because I'm going to do a good job. Nobody can do my job as well as me, and that makes them feel like that they're my client through the whole process. Because I tell my clients at the end of the transaction, I say, look, you're my client for life now, whether you like it or not. Um, and it just kind of sets the stage, and they always know that I'm their point person. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to, and I say, oh, well, who's the LO that you used for your last purchase? And they can't remember because they were passed around to three or four people. And, so that's kind of the goal now, is just being able to work with people the whole way through.
No, that's good. I have people that do it that way. This is one, on the broker side, we can definitely do that, depending on, once you get that approval and you see it and you just got to turn in exactly what they have asked for, most of the lenders don't have any overlays on the broker side, which is kind of nice. You just go to what they cater to, whether it's high score, low scores, or whatever. You don't take your 500 score to UWM, but you also don't take your 780 score to Cardinal Financial. You
Right.
could, but that's not normally what they get, because as soon as they open up that lower end, guess what? The lower end caters to them,
Right.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Let's look on here. Tell me this. We know you're a loan originator. You've been doing it 20 plus years, but what does Brad do when he's not doing loan originating?
Well, the last couple of years has been a little slower, so I've had more time to do other things. But I've got a wife and 2 kids. I coach my daughter's lacrosse team. I used to coach my son, so lacrosse season is coming around. So there's that. I do a lot of ultra running.
Okay.
That has
Nice.
taken up a lot of time over the past 6 or 7 years. I facilitate a men's group, which is kind of my passion project.
Wait, for people that don't know what you're talking about, explain what you're going to want to hear this, people. Explain ultra.
So ultra distances are anything over a marathon. So any race is longer than 26.2 miles.
What's the longest that you've done?
The longest race I've done is 100.
Okay.
I've
By
done
chance, did you do the one that starts up in Nevada and ends up in like Auburn, California, or something like that?
No, I think you're talking about the
The Western something?
Western states.
Okay.
No, I've done the Leadville, which is here in Colorado. I did that twice. The first one I had to quit at mile 98, which was a bummer.
Okay.
I couldn't walk anymore and I was out of time, but I went back the next year and finished it. And then I did a race in Steamboat, Colorado. That was
Or
100.
Steamboat.
And actually, Patagonia filmed me, not because I'm super fast or something. There's a whole story behind it. There's a YouTube video out there too.
Nice.
Yeah. If you Google
How,
keeping pace Patagonia, you'll see my 7 minutes of fame.
there you go. I was just
Yeah.
watching a recent movie with what's his name? It's called Arthur the Dog, but they were doing like an ultra experience, but they had boats and all kinds of stuff in it. It wasn't just running. But I had a friend when I got into triathlons, he was doing ultras, but he'd do the Western. But he's like, what do you do in the morning? Oh, I go run a marathon every morning with the guys. And I'm like, what do you mean you run a marathon every day? He goes, well, that's our short runs. And on the weekends we do, but they drive all the way up and they put these water things and nourishment at certain areas.
Yeah,
And they're running off road, like, yeah, with lights on. I'm going, that does not sound normal. Who goes out and runs 100 miles? He actually ended up passing away, not from that, but his wife in remembrance of him, she trained and did that event in remembrance of him. And I'm like, wow, that is one hell of an event.
Yeah, it's definitely, the training is awesome because you got to get a lot of miles and, you got to do mountain running. So it's a good way to explore all the Colorado mountains. And, but yeah, it's certainly training for the hundreds is a big.
Well, how do you breathe? I mean, you're Colorado, you're already up high. I mean, where do you get the oxygen for that?
Yeah, you just get used to it.
Okay.
But, for really high runs like Leadville's average elevation is, I think, 11,000 feet. We do some training runs up there and you got to get there like a week before the race to get your body acclimated to the altitude. Yeah. But yeah, it's just part of the fun.
Living the life.
Yeah, right.
Living the life.
Yeah.
Right on. How old are your kids?
My son is almost 14. My daughter is almost 12.
All right. And they both do lacrosse?
Yep. They both play lacrosse. They both ski. That's kind of their big ticket items.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did that event out in Boulder. I'd never been to Boulder. I've been to Colorado Springs and Denver and the airport. But I'd never been to Boulder. It was absolutely beautiful. I mean, I didn't realize, I'm like, where's the football stadium? They're like, well, you're pretty much standing anywhere you look, you're kind of almost on campus. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I can, if I walk out on my street, I could see the stadium. We get season tickets to the Buffs because I went to see you.
Okay.
So it's fun to take my kids to games and it's a good time.
Well, it's, from non-Buffalo, I've been a Buffalo fan just because I've enjoyed, watching Deion Sanders down here at Jackson State, and then obviously went there. But, just watching them play, it's been exciting football. But I mean, they played not last year, maybe the year before, but I mean, they played one of the toughest schedules out there. I'm like, my God, you're playing all the best teams, from the whole United States, and people are just beating them up. But I'm like, you're still putting up points. You're just giving up too many. Last year was obviously a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we had a lot of years of very subpar football. So it's been a nice change. Those of us that stuck it out and kept our season tickets over the past 20 years, it's now paying off.
Well, touching back, you said you do a lot on your own. It sounds like you're very busy too with family and your hobbies, because the running, that's not something you just can do once a week and get what you need as far as time on the road. Burning through them shoes too. Um, Take me through a day in the life of
Yeah.
Brad.
So, I try to get, if I get up before my kids, I'll maybe check an email or two. I really just try to set myself up for the day. So I get my meditation done. I get some time with my kids. After they leave for school, I usually go out and get in a run or a workout, something like that. It's so when I sit down to my desk to start working, I've like checked all the boxes that are important for me to have a good day. It's like
Wow.
starting
Okay.
off right is huge. If I don't get those things done and I just sit down to my email and I start plugging away, uh, all the things that keep my mind and body feeling good fall to the wayside, and then I run out of gas.
Do you know
So,
who Dan Martell is? He's got a book called Buy Back Your Time. He's also,
oh yeah,
multi-millionaire business guy. But it's interesting. I was just listening to one of his podcasts today, and he talked about how he structures his day. But
hmm,
pretty much, he needs all the important things checked off first,
totally,
because those are the things that mean the most, that help him be the most successful. So therefore, he's going to make sure that he checks those boxes before he allows the things that just kind of pull and tug on him to manifest and get into that, start to take his time. Because he says if he doesn't and he just starts on the other end, then at the end of the day, he feels like he hasn't accomplished anything, because everything he wants, all of his energy, as much as he can throughout the day, is to be towards the common goal that he has set for himself, whether it's getting a loan or getting 10 loans a month or whatever.
all right.
What are you doing every single day that's taking you towards that or taking you away from that? It was just interesting that you said that. It kind of reminded me of what he was saying this morning, because I'll be honest with you, I'm starting to buy back my time. I had to get back into the admin side to take this place and launch it,
Right.
but now we got all owners working admin, but we're at a point where we're big enough where some owners like, cool, I want to specialize in the admin side. You go specialize in the growth side. Get out from behind the desk. Go do what you do best, which is you are an originator. I am a real estate agent. I am an investor. you know, let me get out and go help our people try and find that next loan, or raise our average by at least one loan a month. I benefit from that. So it's not like I'm wasting my time. But if
Right.
I'm stuck behind a desk, then you guys are 100% on your own. And not that you don't do a good job, but it's like there's more to me than just talking to attorneys and lenders and upset real estate agents and things like that and recruiting all day.
Right.
This place has enough loan originators. The recruiting kind of takes care of itself, but you guys are already here. I want to dive into you guys. And
Yeah.
so I'm going to use everything that I know for 35 years, because each one of you are at different levels. And I feel like I can help each one of you at whatever level you're at
Mm-hmm.
get to whatever it is that you want to do, but at least have a good conversation with some ideas and bring assistance to the table that, to show you that I want more for you guys. Since you trust us, I want to make sure I'm matching that energy that you're putting into this every day right back at
Mm-hmm.
you. So and that's
Right.
kind of what led me to do this. Plus, it
Right.
gives me a chance to meet one-on-one with people and talk to people. Here's a question for you. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how much you know about me, and maybe you don't know anything. Is there any question you might have for me? I don't know. Something like, gosh, I wonder what Rich was. Maybe you don't, but I always want to make sure. Maybe there's a question you have for me. I have no idea.
I've got a question.
Okay.
So can you just give me, and I'm sure it could be a 4 hour explanation, but can you give me the broad strokes of why you all, because my understanding is that you all worked at UWM,
um,
and then,
okay, go ahead.
or some of you worked at UWM and you all created Expert.
Yeah. So
So
that's a great
can you just
question.
give the broad strokes of why you did what you did?
Absolutely. So actually, I've always been on the broker side. And my last company, Answer Home Loans, is when I had a partner. His name's Dan Maybaum. Answer Home Loans, still available in Northern California. And that's when we changed our platform. I had started Answer and then I took on a partner, but the change I did coming out of the crash, I went after people that knew how to do purchases. Refinances were just a byproduct. And slowly but surely, Dan was somebody that had worked for me at one time, was really good at that. And he had become a recruiter. And I'm like, dude, why don't you come partner with me? This is the best time. I'm going to go from my house to a commercial space. And this is what I'm going to recruit. And I shared with, he goes, Rich, we can do that. I have the networking, you have the platform. We put it together and we grew that to where we were doing at one time 850 deals a month. And we became number 4 in the nation just doing California. But the key to that was Alicia Budd was our AE at UWM that helped us from when I had 2 originators, myself and one, all the way to the 150 that we grew that company to, which by the way, we got to about 150 originators, but we were doing about 850 deals a month off 150 people. We had some incredible loan originators there. About 80 of them are here with us now. But that's where I started to have a business relationship with, I call her Lisa, her real name's Alicia. She ended up being the number 1 AE at UWM for like 4 years running. She actually had 2 companies, mine and another brokerage in Southern California. And I remember I called her and I said, hey, I'm going to give Dan this company. I'm going to move to Georgia and I'm going to start over. I want to go nationwide. Coming out of 20 and 21 to COVID, I knew it was going to slow down. And I said, I've already been through this once before. I'm going to make a change. And she said, well, and I said, can you be my AE? And she's like, I don't know, because I don't want no problems with Matt. And I took her about a week, but she came back in a week. Instead of just giving me a yes or no, she said, you know what? I'm maxed out here, Rich. My husband's maxed out, Alex, because he had whole different companies, but did a lot of correspondence stuff. And she goes, what if we come partner with you? Because I was going to do it alone. And I'm like, I never thought about that. I mean, is Matt okay with that? She said, he is. We got his blessing and we're going to come partner with you. And we're going to move from Michigan. You're moving from California. We're going to come do it with you. And that's kind of how Expert started. We brought a platform, threw in a trusted account executive that has a lot of knowledge about not only UWM, but how to get deals done on Fannie Freddie, stuff like that, throw it into my years of brokering on the other side. And it was right at the right time because the market started to slow down by having the core and the broker. That channel opened up with the fixed lower broker fee, going after the same model, adding in the recruiting function. It was just like the perfect timing to do what we did. And we look up and today we're at 625 originators in basically 3 years and almost 1 month. I've never seen anything like it. I thought 150 was a lot. Never in my mind did I think I would say the word 625. But that's why it's important to me to not get caught up and ride the number. I don't want to just have 3,000 loan originators. I'd rather have 100 that are happy and making a lot of money and having life-changing experiences than to have 3,000 that are just surviving. And I'm like, okay, if we're going to keep growing like we are, then I need to dive back in because I want success for every single person that's trusted this platform. You need to get something out of this. I've seen people change their lives with the amount of income that they can make off the platform. We have some people made almost $2 million last year in this market. And it's like, you can do a lot of things with your family and your life with just the ability to control the 1099 aspect of it for Colorado, things like that. Yeah. We're going to use every tool we have for as long as we can. Because I've benefited from that too. I originated on 1099, things like that. I got to see controlling the money. Now I could do more advertising, or I can do things where before it was off the net and it would squeeze me. So the direct lender models are designed, I think, very specifically to always keep you hungry so that you're always going after more. They don't want you to but I can tell you some of the most driven people are my people that do the most loans. They don't get lazy. Matter of fact, they get more driven, which is kind of interesting.
Right.
So that's maybe I don't know if that answered exactly, but that's kind of how this came about.
It's good to get the lay of the land.
Yeah, but no, Alex and Lisa are going to be, Alex has been running our funding department, but they're going to be diving in. Lisa and I do a lot of the day-to-day stuff. Jordan does the state licensing at the company level. Justin helps me, which, we got compliance, but now we have a full-time compliance guy, a compliance attorney that works right here for us, which I
Yeah,
love.
that's
I
great.
mean, just when I think about it, never in my mind, I was a one-person broker shop at one time. Now being surrounded by this quality of people, but
Hmm.
it has to, because they want, when we go get audits, they don't want to see that Rich is doing it all, because it's like there's no way you can competently do all this. So now they get to see, like, okay, we starting to see you guys are getting big, but you're backfilling with the important things that we want to see. And believe me, Brad, every state is individual. Like,
Right.
they all have their own things that they like or don't like. And I'll never be perfect, which is good, because if you're perfect, the only way you can go is down. But with all the growth that we've had, um, they don't even look at the deals really anymore. They just want to see, is anybody doing unlicensed business? Like, they always look at our recruiting platform,
Hmm.
our referral platform within the company. That's why we've made changes, not allowing outside people to use it unless they have an actual sponsorship or connection with us. We have too many people to allow. You're all in, they're 1 foot in. We can't keep rewarding the 1 foots. We got to reward the all ins, because we're all in. So
Right. Right.
it's like, I mean, you'll know really quick. I don't know. You tell me, because I used to do triathlons, and I would look at all the hours on the bike and in the pool and the miles. But the events themselves are what kept me motivated, because, oh, I got to get ready. I got to get ready. I don't want to show up unready. But when I look backwards, what I enjoyed was all the conversations with people I would have, that, because you get to see the same people doing the same thing. You start paying attention. That guy must be doing ultras too, because he's out here every day like me. You start to
Right.
find your group. And I think the journey for me was better than the actual events. It's kind of nice to go do an event when they can
Yeah.
shut the city down so you can get timing. But, getting up in the morning, seeing the sun come up when I'm out doing a 2-mile swim in a lake where I'm the only one out there. Swimming is my favorite part, by the way. Um,
Right.
Biking on the American Trail, because it's only bikes and runs, and there's no cars, there's no stoplights, and then you find your paths that you can run with the least amount of stopping and or getting run over by somebody. You guys have some great trails, by the way. When I was going into Boulder off on the right, I think I saw these long biking trails. At least I saw
Yeah.
people out
Yeah.
there on bikes.
They're all over the place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys really have a lot going on up.
Yeah. The one thing I was going to say about, starting your day with those things that are important. I mean, that is momentum for
Hmm.
the rest of the day,
Yeah,
right? It creates momentum so that when I've checked off all those important boxes that I know I need for my health and my mental health and all that, it just springs me into momentum for the things that I want to do, and I can get them done. The work things that I need to do, I can get them done a lot faster and a lot more efficient. Um, when I've got taken care of all the things that are important ahead of time.
how did you come to Expert? How did you find out about Expert?
Through the folks at Greenlight, I used to
Okay, so
work
you're part
with,
of Greenlight. Okay.
yeah, Noel and Matt, and we all used to work together.
Oh,
So
right on. Okay.
yeah,
No, that's a great group. That's one of our better team um, platforms, I would say, as far as like all that you guys do. Plus, you guys all hang out together and party and
well,
all that.
some of us have known each other for 15 plus years. So we've worked together, we've seen each other evolve and succeed. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a good
I
group.
like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted to accomplish with this, was to just steal some of your time without taking too much, but also put a face behind the name so that we can get it out there to people, that if they want to know more about Brad MacHamer,
You got it.
they will be able to see who you are, some of the hobbies, and maybe, people start to understand it's more than just a salesperson on the other end. There's really a human there that has real hobbies, that's also a dad, also a homeowner, also has those same concerns. You put it all together, and it's like, the people find people they relate to. And by knowing more about you and the things, when you walk into a room where people know you, they should also know what you do. Like, oh, that's Brad. Oh, he's into loans. If you ever have a question about loans, just ask Brad. He has, he won't sell you. But he'll answer your questions for you. Like, you got to be that person in your group of people and the things you hang out with. And people say, gosh, I'll ask them, I'm like, hey, when on social media, I see your stuff, but I never see you talk about, oh, I don't like to talk about loans on my private stuff. I get that, but people aren't even asking you questions. Like, you're not even giving opinions about things. Do people even know what you do? Would you be the person they would call if they had a question? Because if the answer is no, and this is your brother, something's not right there, right?
Totally.
My brother
Well,
doesn't do loans through me, but we sure talk about him a lot. But I always make him go local. I'm like, go local. You know, you're going to be happier versus me doing it 3 hours away.
right.
But Brad, I appreciate your time today. I want to say
Yeah.
thank you for taking the time out of your day to give me part of your time. I do appreciate it. I
Yeah.
hope to see you guys in Boulder here real soon. That's one of my favorite places to visit now after I've been there one time.
Yeah.
But the weather should be getting nice here.
It's
Well, it's always
beautiful
nice,
right now.
but I bet it's just
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Well,
Cool.
that's it for today.
Yeah.
Brad and I are going to sign off. And what do we always say when we close it out at Mortgage Ballers? We say, stay thirsty, my friends.
Stay
Thanks,
there.
Brad. I appreciate your time, man.
Thanks, man.